千里之行，始于足下. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we delve deeply into the Daodejing by Lao Tzu. So this is a story that I call The Farmer's Watch. It's a story that I like to tell, especially when it comes to oneness, especially when it comes to attaining oneness through tranquility, silence, quietness, etc. And the story goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a farmer. Now, this particular farmer had a most prized possession, which you can see in this slide. That possession was his gold pocket watch, just like that. So he took a lot of pride in always knowing what time it was. So this is decades ago that this story took place. This was back in the days when people regarded something like a timepiece as a rarity. So he took a lot of pride in that. Whenever he wanted to know what time it was, he would pull out the gold watch from his pocket, flip it open with a flourish. It was a smooth motion for him. Pull it out, flip it open to check the time. So as I said, relatively unusual back in the days when people didn't have much, especially in his rural community. People usually, they woke up at the break of dawn. They worked out in the fields when there was daylight, during the day. And when it got dark, they would retire for the day. They would rest. So they were used to the rhythm of the day and night transition. They would keep track of time in that sense. Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? They weren't that concerned about precisely what time it was, but if they needed to know, they could always rely on this particular farmer. The other thing about this farmer was he had a very large cellar. That was where he stored his agricultural products and tools. Now, many things get moved in and out of the cellar, of the storage units in the cellar, so that it always got very messy and very disorganized quickly. So it was customary for the farmer that every single year he would gather a whole bunch of farm hands. He will hire these people to come in and help him clean things out and organize the cellars annually, once a year. So our story opens when the time came once again for the annual cleaning. So the day came and the farmer got up in the morning. He did his morning chores. Then he decided to start the process of cleaning, of doing that annual cleaning of the cellar. So what he wanted to do first was that he wanted to take a look at the cellar. He wanted to survey the situation to come up with a rough idea, a rough plan on how to go about it. So once he had this rough plan in his mind, he would go back up the stairs, he would summon all the workers, all the farm hands, and he would organize them. He would get them to start working. So he went down to the cellar with a lamp, looked around, made up that plan in his mind, and then he walked back up the stairs to get the workers. Now, at the top of the stairs, a thought occurred to him. He was thinking, it's a good idea for me to check what time it is right now. That way, when the workers are done, I can check the time again. This will tell me how many hours it took this year to organize my cellar. So as is usual for him, he took out the pocket watch with a flourish, flipped it open to check the time. But in that smooth motion that he was so accustomed to, this time at the top of the stairs it slipped. The watch slipped out of his hand. It so happened that this time the chain that affixed the gold watch to him was not fastened. It just so happened that it wasn't fastened that day, so the gold watch slipped away from him. The pocket watch slipped away and fell into the darkness of the cellar. It bounced its way down the stairs. It made a bunch of noise. It knocked against this thing and that, and the farmer was like, "Oh, my precious gold watch," getting damaged, getting bumped up, and then it disappeared. And the farmer could not see clearly which way it bounced to, this direction or that direction. Where did it go? So he was really in a panic because it was dark down there, and this was his most valuable possession. So he went down right away with the lamp. He took it down to the cellar. He looked around. He looked everywhere around the stairs, everywhere around that, all the nooks and crannies, and it was hopeless. There were so many things down there, were so messy, so disorganized, he could not see where the gold pocket watch went. So after a while, he decided to go back up for help. It was too much for him. He could not reasonably conduct a search by himself. So he got all the farmhands together. They were supposed to help him organize the cellar, and now he had another task for them. Before they even start to clean things out, he said, "Okay, everyone, there's a nice bonus in it for you if you can help me find my gold pocket watch." So upon hearing this, everybody is amply motivated. As a group, they all went down to the cellar. They all carried their own lamps. So the cellar was very well illuminated. And they looked around. They examined different stacks. They looked into every corner they could, but everything was so piled up and so disorganized, none of them could see the gold pocket watch anywhere. No one had any luck finding it. This went on for a good hour and a half. So everybody, by this time was tired and they were all getting hungry because it was close to lunchtime. The farmer himself was pretty anxious too. He kept cursing his bad luck. He kept complaining and looking. But he too was hungry, so it was time to take a break. So he got everybody back out of the cellar to ground level, and everyone took a break together. Everyone had lunch together. And what he told them was that, "Okay, everybody, immediately right after lunch, we have to resume the search. I don't care how long it takes. I have to find that gold pocket watch. It is my most valuable possession." So time passed, everybody got done with lunch, they hurried through it, and everybody was ready to head back down to the cellar. When they descended again, a surprising sight greeted them. In the cellar, there was a young boy from the neighborhood. The young boy was dangling the gold pocket watch in his hand. He found the gold pocket watch and he handed it over to the farmer. So by now, the farmer was completely amazed. He's like, "Whoa, hold on, wait a minute. All of us were looking for this. We turned the place upside down. We didn't find it. How did you do it?" Now, he also knew that when he lost the pocket watch, the little boy wasn't around. So there was no way the little boy could have seen which way the pocket watch fell down the stairs. So how could he find the pocket watch so easily while all of them had failed for like an hour and a half? The young boy said, well, sir, it was actually quite easy. After you guys left for lunch, I came down here. I sat around. It got really quiet, and I got really quiet too. I quieted down enough so I could hear the tick tock sound made by the gold pocket watch. So I followed the sound, tick tock, until I located the pocket watch. I found the place where it had fallen to on the ground. It was easy. So that is the story of the farmer's watch. Let me pause for a moment and ask everyone to reflect on the meaning of the story and tie it back to the section of the Daodejing 39 that we have just looked at. So we saw this table, attaining oneness. And, my question is, how would that map into this particular story? And how we can use that to help us attain oneness ourselves. So I have a few observations that I would like to share with everyone. And you guys are absolutely correct. The boy possessed tranquility and clarity. They helped him attain oneness, which allowed him to easily locate the gold pocket watch. So the idea is that when you want to hear, you should silence the mind so you can hear more easily. Now, let's also talk about what one should not do. We can see the opposite in the farmer. Note that the farmer was anxious. The situation when he organized all the farm hands to look for the pocket gold watch together, it was noisy, it was chaotic, it was frantic because everyone was frantically searching, turning the place upside down. This is rarely the best way to do anything, never mind attaining oneness. So what we can get from the story is that negative emotions and noise can keep you from the oneness of the Tao. And you end up with a lack of clarity and a lack of insights. I think everyone can see that, right? So let's review what the boy did that was congruent with the Tao. So the boy went in the opposite direction. I don't mean literally going in the opposite direction. I mean, he approached the situation very differently from the farmer. He quieted down, he slowed things down, he got quiet himself so he could listen. What can we extract from that? Well, the wisdom is tranquility and calmness will take you back to the oneness of the Tao. Everything becomes clearer, and you end up accomplishing your objective easily and almost without effort. So this is why the little boy said it was easy. It didn't take a lot of effort. It didn't take a lot of time. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us travel safely. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.